Hey Gavin, is this thing on? This tech stuff is freaky to me. I don't really know what's going on. Whatever. Have you seen Stoic and Fearman? Where are they? I got stuff to do.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Stoic, you old fart. How you doing?
I'm not an old fart.
Randy, when did you start teaching here?
1986.
Randy, I was born in 83. I think you count as an old fart at this point. There's no one left from 86.
Hey, guys. How you doing there?
What the are you wearing?
Peter, this is a family episode for crying out
Sorry,
loud.
but look at you.
Listen,
You gotta be kidding me.
I think it's a great Genghis Khan that once said, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And guys, I mean, we just went through a global pandemic, so I got a global pandemic-proof suit. I am ready for a flood. As you can see, I got my own air circulation up in here. I got my fingers in the glove, la-di-da-di-da. Mopping up the urine, have your fingers in the glove.
Oh boy, maybe I am an old fart, but I tell you what, even an old fart can learn new tricks. Did you guys know Google Meet is not a new sandwich option? It's not. WeVideo is not a short sentence with bad grammar. Oh, Go Guardian, that's not a cheer you hear in a hockey section. No, and my drive, I shoveled it all winter, but that's not what it is. An infinite campus is not really that big.
That's fair.
One other thing, if you wear a mask, you don't have to shave every day.
Ooh, that is good.
I didn't either. This is great.
Uh-oh. Speaking of old farts, you guys, I just let one, and I gotta get this thing off immediately.
Why did we invite you?
What is the deal? I tell you what, in 36 years that I've been here, if you had told me that I needed 7 pieces of software running on a computer to do my classroom, I would have said, what computer? In 1986, there was only one, and it was in the district office. And best of all, last year it was the younger, the brighter, and the more intelligent, if you want to go, creative teachers that showed me all this new stuff. It was awesome. Just like these two.
Pete, I need your help over here, Peter. Oh my gosh, I gotta get the suit off. It smells so atrocious.
Randy, I'm going in. I'm coming, buddy!
Well, maybe not just like these two, but you know what I mean about the younger creative teachers. Hey guys, we're not done yet. Come here.
Oh,
Come on. Save your life.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I was really trapped in there.
I tell you what, teaching at Monticello all these years, and especially the last 2, it kind of reminded me of the Summer Olympics. It really did.
Yeah, you know what, Randy? I think you're right on that. Every American athlete has a special skill set and training in their own event. But at the end of the day, they came together for Team USA. Team Monticello certainly did that for the District of 882 during the last year's global pandemic.
Yeah, no, like, we might not be focusing on gold medals or even gold stars here, but there's one thing we all can focus on, and that's the students. We can do an exceptional job of giving them the best experience they could ever hope for coming to school during these times.
And with all the special skills we learned last year, I would say this year we can make it even better.
Yeah, no kidding. So let's get out there and do it. We got this.
Look, you can't use that line. That's Olson's line.
Why?
Oh.
We have this?
Oh,
not a
we can
Yeah.
do this?
Is that grammatically
It's
correct?
not. You can't use we got. That's
It's something. We do go get them.
Get a tiger.
It sure is nice coming before you and welcoming you to the 2021-22 school year, especially now that the crowd is all warmed up. I've always held Tommy Boy as my favorite comedy, but after that short film, I'm thinking I might have to reconsider. In all seriousness, I so appreciate Mr. Stoic, Mr. Fearben, and Mr. Berquist introducing 3 very important thoughts for us to ponder as we enter into the new year. First, learn from past experiences. Second, use your unique skills to connect with students and colleagues. Third, win gold medals by serving students. First, it's incredibly important that we use lessons from our past experiences to shape who we are today. No one comes into this job knowing everything, and as much as I'd like to tell you differently, you still won't know everything when you leave. But the hope and expectation should be that each year, you add a few more tools to the toolbox. I sure can't imagine working in education the last 2 years if I was still working only with the tools and knowledge I started with back in the 90s. Thankfully, every year, heck, every day, we get an opportunity to learn, grow, and adapt. I know you have all done so much of that in the past 2 years. Let's keep blending what we have learned in order to make our school system better for all. The second important concept that I heard from our resident expert, Mr. Stoig, was the fact that each one of us has a unique skill set. There is no way that I should be out in front when it comes to technology. But just because I don't have the initial skill set when it comes to things like technology, that doesn't mean that I can't be successful with a technology-related endeavor. I just need to utilize the strengths of my peers and teammates. I can partner with someone in our IT department and boom, instant success. We have some amazing people in this district, but there isn't a single person that knows everything about everything. However, someone somewhere knows the answer to your question or has the skill set you require. Relying on each other and sharing our gifts with others will open doors both for our students and for us as professionals. The more we connect our skills with the special skills of our students and colleagues, the further we can go as a team. And finally, at the start of every school year, it's incredibly important that we recenter our purpose in education. Some businesses have complicated goals. It's not always easy to define what really matters. We are fortunate that we don't have that issue. Our purpose is simple and straightforward. Each and every one of us was hired to serve the students of the Monticello school community. No matter your title, your field, or your role, if you were beginning this school year employed by the Monticello School District, you were hired to serve our 4,200 students. Our goal, our mission, our purpose is simply this: to do our absolute best by the 4,200 future leaders, innovators, educators, scientists, and so much more. I'm ready. I know you're ready. So that can mean only one thing. We are ready, and we got this. The last thing we are going to leave you with is I would like to give you a quick introduction to the 2021 referendum. Here's a video. Please take a few minutes to watch and get acquainted with what the district is asking the community for this fall. Please know that we will be coming to your building in the month of September to meet with all staff members and provide additional information, as well as to take questions. This is a very important moment from our school district, and it's vitally important that our staff is educated on the topic. Thank you.
This fall, Monticello School District community members will have the opportunity to vote on additional funding for Monticello Public Schools. Following several lean financial years, the district is asking for just enough financial support to avoid budget cuts for the duration of the 5-year levy cycle, as well as to stabilize the technology budget and allow us to continue to provide one-to-one devices for all students. The first question on the ballot on November 2nd will be an operating referendum question to generate $2.1 million. This question would lower the amount of budget reductions required this year and in future years, allowing the protection of certain programming and staffing. The second question, contingent upon the passage of the first, is a $1.2 million operating referendum question. Passage of Q1 and Q2 would allow the district to avoid budget-related reductions entirely this school year. The third question on the ballot will be a $2 million technology levy. Passage of this question is needed to continue to maintain one-to-one devices for our entire student body. This would also provide funding to improve technology across the district, such as increased smartboards and sound fields in classrooms to improve the education experience for every student. Lastly, the passage of Q3 would allow the district to shift $800,000 of staff funding to the technology budget, freeing up that same amount in general funds, which would allow us to remove budget cuts from the 5-year forecast, matching the conclusion of this levy cycle. Due to a funding gap in education, bloated by inflation issues and lacking state and federal funding during the past 2 decades, ISD 882 is one of many school districts across Minnesota that is in need of increased revenue to avoid significant and painful cuts to programs and staffing. While the state has provided a boost in their funding this most recent budget cycle, it doesn't begin to close the gap generated by 0% funding increases several times in the past 2 decades. In fact, after making $3.2 million in budget cuts during the last 4 years, Monticello School District is facing another $3.1 million in cuts this year alone without additional funding from a voter-approved referendum. While we are fortunate to receive one-time funding as part of COVID relief packages, that funding needed to be directed towards staff and programs to help us meet COVID spacing and safety requirements last year. Those same funds are now being used to help address the COVID learning gap with specialist, one-to-one help, and additional teachers to maintain competitive class sizes. We are also fortunate to have an operating referendum already on the books, thanks to our supportive community. However, the funding generated by that referendum still has us well below state average. Currently, the property tax impact felt by our school community ranks near the bottom of all local school districts. The total school property taxes payable in 2021 on a $200,000 home in Monticello are $666. Districts such as Big Lake, St. Michael, and Elk River come in more than $400 higher than that. To be able to maintain our current programming and to retain our incredible educators, we need additional dollars to help us close the funding gap and to help us continue to give Monticello students the educational excellence that they deserve. Which is why, even in a challenging time, we are coming to the community with this ask, to support our students, to support our educators, to strengthen our community. To learn more, please visit www.monticello.k12.mn.us/levy. Thank you.
Prepared by Independent School District Number 882, 302 Washington Street, Monticello, Minnesota 55362. This publication is not circulated on behalf of any candidate or ballot questions.